The views expressed on this program do not necessarily reflect those of this station.
Welcome to Insights into Northeast Michigan, a WBKB News public affairs program. Insights deals with the issues affecting those in the community, as well as Northeast Michigan and the state. And now, Insights into Northeast Michigan.
Welcome to this edition of Insights, everybody. I'm your host, Marissa McKay, and joining me today are some people from Alpena High School, and we're talking about prom, everybody's favorite high school pastime. Joining me first is Principal Matt Foley.
So true.
How are you?
I'm good, Marissa. Thank you.
Good. Well, thanks for being here today. And like I said, I think you had just mentioned right before we started taping that prom is definitely something that parents really like as well. It kind of relives their high school youth. And do you think that that's true?
I think that's true, probably for all of us. Parents get a chance to see. You take your students, your kids, your young adults, and all of a sudden one night they're transformed immediately into adults. Mm-hmm. And it's a great time. It's a great time, especially being a big school in a small community. The whole community comes together. So it's a lot of fun.
Definitely. And you've been involved in Alpena schools for quite some time, maybe not principal for all those years, but prom has been going on for as long as you can remember. And
we've been here, I think, 19 years, and I think this is my 19th prom. So we really, and every year it just gets a little bit bigger, a little bit better. It's the students work so hard to make it to what it is, and the community really rallies behind them.
Good. And I think, too, prom has just changed over the years because of a lot of different factors. But for you, what do you think is the biggest change that you've seen as an administrator?
I think the biggest thing is when you look at what students, prom's this mythical night. It's, you wait your whole childhood, your adolescence, you get to
everyone talks about it.
Oh, it's coming, it's prom, and then it gets here, it's over and done. I think it's really turned into more, not so much of an event, but more of a mindset, where it kind of leads up into something, and you say, it's not so much about prom being one of this mythical night, but it's more about an event for the kids. It's a chance for them to come together, and really, they dance. They dance for 5 hours straight, and when they're done, they want to dance some more. And it's not, I think back to my days in prom, we dance a little and sit down and eat a little. Now they dance and they go all night. They just absolutely love it.
Yeah, it's certainly different. My parents kind of talked, it was more of a wedding reception kind of feel.
Exactly.
Where there was food and you talked and you hung out, but now people can, and they have cell phones, they can do that all the time. They don't need to chat.
So true. So very true.
And where is prom held every year?
It's at the Aplex. We moved it there actually the first year they opened, we were one of the first events there.
And how do you think that's been working?
Fantastic. We used to have it at the Civic Center, and it was time for a change. And when the Apex came on board, it's so much bigger. It's more room. It's beautiful. What the students do to decorate it with the community is just, every year I walk in there, what they transform 4 walls and the ceiling into is just exceptional.
All right, and it's quite a big venue. The Aplex is pretty large. So in terms of keeping the kids safe at prom, what do you guys do leading up to that? Do you have assemblies? Do you have announcements that you read off to the kids?
We actually met today. We had a senior meeting today, and I give them the parental talk, I guess you might say, and just remind them, hey, it's a night, but it's also about choices. And one of those things to really reiterate with the parents is talk to your kids about the choices they make. It's not something you want to have them make a bad choice and have to pay for it for the rest of their lives, but more or less enjoy it, take it all in. We have there's probably more groups of kids coming nowadays than when you and I were in school, where it was more of a date thing. Now the groups come together, they hang out together. With our pre-prom dinner now, about 3 years ago, Kaput started doing this dinner. We wanted to give the kids a chance to kind of make it into a bigger event, but not cost them anything. Because honestly, for students, it's hard to come up with money for dinner.
Especially for girls, some of those dresses get pretty extravagant.
And shoes and purses. I've learned a lot over the years. You just go, and I have a daughter coming up, so that scares me. But it's one of those things you look at, and the community is great on that. So we have the dinner for them ahead of time, which is no charge, and it's catered by different folks around the community.
And where's the dinner located?
On the other side. It's pretty much what we do is split the Aplex in half. The dinner's on one side, then we kind of transition over to the other side for the dance. And it starts at about 6:45, and we run the kids until about 12:30, and then the after prom party runs until about 2:30.
Okay, so and tell me a little bit about the after prom party, because my high school did something similar where it was an event that you got to just kind of stay after prom, and that way it sort of deters people from maybe throwing a party or something like that that's maybe illegal.
Yeah, and we, the whole thing behind Kaput is just keep the kids safe on things like the seniors last night, prom, those kind of times where things are more risky for them. And really what we did this year, we're moving it back to the bowling alley. We'll get the kids there, and literally for about 2.5, 3 hours, they can bowl all they want, again, eat all they want. It's amazing how much they eat, but they eat again, and they really and truly just have a good time hanging out with their friends.
Okay, and what grade levels from high school? I mean, you have kids who are 13 and a half, 14, all the way up until 18, maybe 19, so it's quite a big age gap.
It is. It's really a junior-senior prom. If you want to have guests outside, if you want to have somebody who's maybe 19 or 20, which isn't uncommon, they have to sign, we have papers they have to fill out, and we sign those, and then they bring those with them with their IDs. On the flip side, very few underclassmen come, probably more sophomores, very, very few freshmen come. It's not right for them. I mean, they're kind of one of those things, and they don't really fit in.
Right.
Sophomores do to some degree, but really it is a junior, senior, and then sometimes the older kids.
All right.
But it's a junior, senior prom.
Okay. And I mean, the prom is not the only thing that you guys put on throughout the year in terms of dances. You have a winter dance, then you also have homecoming. So from an administrative perspective, do you think that these are really big events that people really do look forward to, and it's kind of a time for the school as a whole to really, or grades as a whole, to kind of bond together over something?
I could look over at the students, they'd probably be saying, yes. Homecoming is huge. Our building, we have about 1,300 students, and it's not uncommon. Actually, we had our biggest dance yet, which was Winterfest this year. We had almost 600 kids.
Wow.
Which is crazy. But the kids are phenomenal. I mean, we open up the gym. They're both kind of semi-formal, so we don't have a lot of dances, so when we do have them, the students really dress up for it. They make it a good time. We really don't have incidents because they really just want to be there to have fun, and it's a good time.
And if a student wants to bring somebody from outside the community, is it also a similar procedure where if it's not a student, then you guys do have an ID process?
Yep. And they have to fill out an application, which whoever the student is at the high school fills it out. We sign off on it, and then they bring their ID with them to the dance. And if there's any questions, we contact their parents and just make sure things are legit. But again, all the years we've been doing this, knock on wood, it's been just a phenomenal experience. Prom is just a great thing. A lot of fun.
All right. And I think finally, I mean, you mentioned you had 600 kids at Winterfest, and you probably have around the same number at
we
prom?
have probably we range somewhere between 400 and 500 depending on the year. It's a lot of kids.
Still, exactly, a lot of kids. So, and you clearly can't do all of this yourself. So who are the other people involved that kind of are there as chaperones and maybe just an extra pair of eyes?
We have a couple people. Amy Matuzak and Luciana King have been working with Kaput for a long time, as well as we have my administrative staff. They're there, and and we have so many parents and staff that help out that it truly to pull off something that large, from the dinner to the actual dance itself. The students do an absolutely miraculous job putting it all together, and really supervision an event like that it's a lot of fun. You see them, they're adults. I mean, they're dressed up, they look absolutely stellar. It's always such a downer Monday when you see them again and go, oh, I mean, it's not, and I think they kind of feel the same way because they're just absolutely top-notch at prom. So it's a lot of fun.
Well, good, and thanks for sharing all that. I think parents, too, just kind of like to know what you guys are doing to keep the kids safe as well on a big event like that.
It's a huge community-wide event. We'll have a lot of parents come by prom ahead of time and really just see what's going on and look at it, and it really is exceptional. Because, again, I think we're all, you try to relive that childhood and go, I remember back when, and it's so much bigger than when I was in school.
Definitely.
So it's neat.
All right. Well, thanks for joining me, Mr.
You're
Pulley.
welcome. Thank you.
And on our second segment of Insights, we'll hear from Officer Tim Marquardt, who is the liaison officer at the high school, and hear a little bit about legally what APS does to try to keep kids safe. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Insights, everybody. Joining me now is the high school liaison officer, Tim Marquardt. Tim is with the City Police Department. Hi, Tim. How are you?
Good. Yourself, Marissa?
Very good.
Thanks for inviting me.
Yes, no problem. And you work for the City of Alpena Police, but as the DARE officer, why did that role appeal to you?
Well, my father was a DARE officer. My father was the ex-sheriff of this county. He was a role model to me. When I attended Lake Superior State in criminal justice, my thesis was on DARE. And once I had children, I saw how important it was, and I have a vested interest in how their community is here, so I thought no better way than to express that in my police department than to be the new DARE officer.
Right, and as a DARE officer, you get to see, because you work at the high school, but you get to meet these kids when they're 5th grade and even younger sometimes.
Yeah, and I've been at the high school for the last 2 years now, so this will be my second prom that I help them out with. But yeah, I have a vested interest in what happens here because myself and other officers have kids in our public schools here, and we want to know what's going on at the schools and keep them safe, and because our kids are going to go there as well.
Exactly. And you're able to build a rapport with the kids, too, since you meet them at such a young age.
Yes. In 5th grade, of course, is the DARE curriculum here in Alpena. And now that I'm at the high school, I get to see these kids in passing, make plenty of contacts with them, and hopefully that rapport that I built with them and that relationship in 5th grade carries over to when they're in high school.
Right, exactly. Because I think sometimes when kids come to high school, it's all about being cool. It's all about fitting in, and maybe that's not the best choice for them personally, but if you can kind of teach those things at a younger age, maybe by the time they get to you.
Right, and we'll still have that Marissa.
Right.
But they remember who I am, and they know who I am, and they're fine with it. I mean, I think they're more comfortable that I'm there now. In all respect to the officers that have been there before. I just have a better feeling in how to connect with those kids, and I think it works to our advantage.
Definitely. And now you just said that this is only the second prom you've done, but you being an Alpena grad yourself, you've certainly been around for a lot of proms.
Yes, I went to 2 proms myself, my junior and senior prom. Of course, that's how the prom is set up this year, is a junior and senior are restricted to just junior and seniors, but my prom was much different. My prom was at the Civic Center, and now they have it at the Aplex. It's a grand facility they have it in. So it's changed quite a bit, and some of the issues, although they're the same, are also some different issues that we have to look for.
And what are some of those issues?
Well, there are some issues like, for example, the Kelsey's Law that was just enacted into law on the 28th. Now that's something that may not necessarily be specifically for prom, but for this age group, anybody with a graduated number 1 or number 2 license, they are forbidden from using the phone, and that phone is a distraction when they're driving. And you know, we have youth here, and it's a prom. It's something that should be memorable, but we want to have everyone stay safe. So that's something that we're going to look for. Besides some of our traditional issues, you know, possibly having possession of things that they shouldn't have, or using things they shouldn't be using. We really haven't had that much of an issue with that at our proms here. So we've been very fortunate. We have great kids here. But yeah, there's always other things these days that officers like myself really need to look for.
Definitely, and I think these issues, Alpena is not the only state in the school, or the only, school in the state that is dealing with this. This is something that affects all teenagers and all proms. Right,
I mean, it's to that age group, 16, 17, 18-year-old kids here. So it affects them directly. And as liaison officer, I'll be helping with the prom. I'll be working the prom. Those are things that I have to key in on and focus on. Not necessarily spend my entire time monitoring. There are other things to do there, but there's certainly something to keep an eye on.
Definitely. And will you be bringing other officers from the department in?
Yes, I'm glad you asked about that. What happened is I have asked my chief, who is willing to forward this message to other law enforcement agencies in the area, our Sheriff's Department, our Michigan State Police Post. We've given them all the times of all the different areas of our prom event, whether it be the dinner, whether it be the prom itself, or the after party. Our chief has forwarded that to our area law enforcement agencies, and we've invited them to stop in. And remember, these guys and gals who are officers have kids here too, so if they're welcome to come in, say hi, take a look at the grandeur of our prom, but also be a visual presence there and reinforce with these kids that, hey, we care for you, we're watching out for you, make better decisions.
Right, and do you think too, just being a presence at the school, do you think that simply a presence, not doing or saying anything, do you think that really helps to kind of reinforce?
I think it's an advantage. I mean, it reinforces what I'm trying to do at the high school.
Right.
And it's not just about the liaison officer, but it's about a law enforcement and the relationship with the high school in general. And that's why we forwarded that request for our other law enforcement agencies. This is all our issue, and we should all be involved.
Especially since there's, maybe between 400 and 500 kids, that's a lot for just a few people to deal with.
Exactly, but you're right. We will have volunteers too. Plenty of great volunteers, whether it's the folks from Kaput, whether it's school administration, whether it's law enforcement. We'll have plenty of adults there to help monitor and assist where needed.
Right. Okay, and now I think something that Principal Poley brought up as well was that parents are also kind of responsible for talking to their kids about this. You guys can say until you're blue in the face what to do at school, but why do you think it's so important that parents at home, or an older sibling or another person can kind of help?
Exactly, you draw from their experiences, but I wouldn't want parents, and I know they wouldn't, but I would hope that they wouldn't disregard prom as just something where they can just let loose and totally decompress without making responsible choices. And I would suggest, being a parent myself of a 8th grader who will be a 9th grader next year in this very high school, sit down with them, talk to them, talk with them and their date, talk to them about their behavior. This is supposed to be a celebration. The last 4 years, or the 3 years that they spent at the high school, which these days is very competitive and could be very stressful.
Definitely.
But please take the time to talk to them and give them that good nudge towards that right path to better behavior, and enjoy prom but be safe.
Right, and make good choices, make it memorable in a good way and not a negative way.
Exactly.
And regarding students, I think a lot of kids, I know when I was in high school, which was not that long ago, but now, I mean,
not
after...
that long ago for me either.
Right. But just kind of hearing how prom has changed for my siblings who are still going through, it's become a bigger deal. And I think that social media makes it a big deal and all of these things. And so I think with my brother and sister, I've just told them, kind of put that aside, and this is your time to have fun with your friends as a last ditch effort sort of thing. And is that similar to what you would say to students?
The fact that we have plenty of volunteers or law enforcement officers or anyone else there for that matter, it's not meant to make them feel that pressure that they better do everything right.
Right, you have to have the best dress for the best.
Yes, we want them to have fun. We want them to relax a little bit. But there are other aspects to the prom outside of that prom building where it's being held too.
Right.
And we understand those social pressures and whatever your date wants to do here or there, what your friends want to do. You have your own mind, make your own decisions, and we're hoping and we're stressing that it's a safe one.
Definitely. Well, thanks for joining us today. I think people and parents really appreciate hearing what law enforcement and how you guys are working together as a community.
Yeah, we appreciate that. We'll do what we can.
Definitely. Well, if you guys stay tuned, next we'll hear from 2 student volunteers and get their perspective on how prom is coming along and what they're most looking forward to. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Insights, everybody. Now, in this final segment, we'll hear from some students, the people who will actually be attending prom, and they are from Miss Lockwood's class at AHS. Hi, guys. Thanks for joining me.
Hi.
These are Michaela and Sarah, so 2 of Miss Lockwood's junior and senior students. So if you guys just want to talk a little bit about prom, what is this year's theme? I think everybody gets really excited about the theme.
This year's theme is Arabian Nights. The senior class picked it back in November. We voted over Fairy Tale and Paris, and that one won. And the best way to describe it is the background of Aladdin.
Okay.
Classier.
What classier? Classier version of Aladdin. Okay, yes. Very exciting. And I think, too, what some people don't understand, especially maybe the kids who go, is how much work you guys do throughout the year. So this is not something that, April rolls around and it's, all right, let's throw prom together. But tell me how long you've been working on this.
Well, they decided the theme back in November, but juniors technically do the prom for the seniors, so they don't have to worry about it. It's their senior year, it's their senior prom. They put the burden on us and we handle everything. So we actually started preparation probably in the beginning of December.
Oh, okay.
Ordering everything, setting the plan, knowing what we want to do, talking to Kaput, meeting with Kaput, making sure we're all laid out of what jobs we have. So we start in November with everything we're doing.
Wow, okay. And for the senior class,
December.
Okay, and you had said that the juniors kind of put it on for them. So is it sort of a pay it forward thing? Like you guys are going to work hard and then for the next year, it's your turn to kind of enjoy it? All right, and so and you're a junior, so for you, how has the planning process been?
It's been, of course it's stressful because, there's only 6 of us this year that have to do the whole thing.
6 students are doing this all wow, okay.
6 of us that are juniors this year. And so Sarah's been helping us, so since we've only have 6, Mrs. Lockwood has Sarah been helping us.
Good.
So it's been nice, but it is stressful because we have so much to get done in a short amount of time.
Right. But
it's also fun to be a part of it. Because when you think about it, when you get there, it's nice to think, we plan this, So, it's really nice once you get there, but it's worth it.
Right, and kind of reaping the benefits of all the hard work. So you also mentioned before we started filming that the community is really supportive of prom, and so you do get some donations from people. So if you want to talk about that as well.
We have a thing called the Prom Promise, which basically says you're not going to drink and drive or do anything bad on prom night. So a lot of places in the community will donate small gift type things, from the salons we get hair appointment free or shampoos or gift cards for restaurants for dinner, and that all goes towards that. And we have Pepsi who donates the beverages for during prom because everyone's thirsty.
Right, working up a sweat, hanging out.
And of course all the stuff that Kaput gets, their donations too.
Right. So do you think the parents help as well? Obviously, students, their parents donate to Kaput, and then the community helps, which is also really great. And so for the dinner, did you guys know what's on the menu yet this year, or is that kind of the Kaput's thing?
Yeah, we actually just got the menu yesterday. Amy Matuzak, she's the one we work with. She's the one that comes in and we meet with her all the time. This year, Kaput's been handling the food. Normally, we collaborate on it, but this year, Kaput took care of it. She brought in the menu yesterday, and we have Hunan donating, Courtyard donating, the Janor, the one that's down by Subway. Yeah, that one. And we also have Los Cuatro Amigos donating, and
Fremont Catering.
Very cool. So there's quite a diverse palette that we have going on at prom, too. That's very exciting.
Yeah.
And so this after party as well at the bowling alley, is that something that, Sarah, have you done that in the past?
I went to the after party last year. It was fun just to eat because then you're hungry. And then just like hang out with your friends before you have to go home and go to sleep.
Right. It kind of continues on the whole mentality of prom. And is that something that you think is really huge now? It's not so much the event of prom, but all the build up to it and the mindset of, you get to get dressed up and you can go with your friends, and it's really kind of a big thing.
Yeah.
I think a thing about this year is it's different this year because the after party last year was actually at the Aplex right there, so people could just go from there. So I think at the bowling alley this year will be a different atmosphere. So I think it'll be good for the students to try out something new because I've never done like the bowling alley thing, so I think it'll be interesting to see how it goes this year.
Definitely. And are people getting excited? Is the atmosphere at school? Are people getting pretty pumped about it since it's only a week away?
Yeah, definitely.
And actually, it's changed because we actually have an assembly right before prom. We never normally have that, but since we had a snow day on our Winterfest assembly, we moved it before prom now. So I think that'll even bring up the atmosphere a little bit more.
Definitely. And at your assemblies, is it, the cheerleaders get involved and maybe some of the sports teams? Is that how assemblies typically go?
Yeah.
Very cool. And now finally, I think something that a lot of kids would want to know is why do you think it's so important that we have prom and that we have events like this for students at high schools?
Well, I would say for seniors, this is the last big thing. I know I'm really excited. It's my senior prom. I get to go spend the night with my friends and have fun and just be with everyone before we have to graduate and go away.
Definitely.
Yeah. I'd just say it's a great time for everyone to get together, especially the third trimester. School's almost over. Everyone's stressed out about everything. It's a nice weekend to just relax and not worry about anything.
Definitely.
To get away from school and think about school and just have fun.
Right, and the teachers are there too, so it's probably nice to kind of see them outside of a classroom setting as well.
Yeah.
So now for you guys, how much prep work goes into not just the prom itself, but just the preparations? Have you guys gotten dresses yet? Have your dates gotten tuxes, friends, and how's that going?
I have a dress. I guess we wait till the week before to get flowers and the tux and all that stuff, the little things. But dress was the most important. We have that. So
good. Exactly. I think every girl would say that. And even maybe some guys who are very conscious. Maybe they are also very excited. They also have a tux. Who knows?
Yeah. I got my dress a while ago, and I went with my date, and he got his tux a while ago too. So
squared away.
Yeah.
Well, that's
so we're pretty good.
And now you guys have both said, not even just in the personal realm of preparation, but being a leader at school and getting to do all this sort of prep work. Do you think that this will be helpful as you go to college and maybe get involved with some other student organizations that are a little bit bigger?
I think so, definitely. I was in the leadership class for 4 years now, so I definitely want to continue that on with whatever I end up doing in life.
Yeah, I love the leadership class. Just being involved. I like being involved. I don't like to... And it is stressful, but I like not sitting at home and not doing anything. I like being involved with stuff we do at school and stuff we do in the community. So I really enjoy it, and I will definitely continue it after high school.
Right, so. And maybe for some of the younger kids, maybe who are just going to be coming up to high school next year, some of the 8th graders, or even some of the freshmen and sophomores who are kind of looking for a niche. Do you guys think that this is a good opportunity to kind of hone your leadership skills, maybe come out of your shell a little bit?
Definitely. Yeah.
So you recommend that to anybody?
Yes, I recommend anyone to take leadership. It's a great way you meet people. And
different grade levels.
Different grade levels, yeah, because we have freshmen all the way up to seniors, and you do great stuff, and it's fun. You do stuff for the school, but you also it's just a good way to learn, and it's great.
It really can help find who you are. I know when I was a freshman, I was very shy, and I never would have been able to do this right now, but now it's totally fine.
Yeah.
I mean, that class really helped me find that in myself.
Well, that's great. What else do you guys do in leadership then, just to kind of wrap up, just leaving on this note, besides putting on prom and planning for things?
We do homecoming. We do everything with homecoming. We do the parade. We do the assemblies. We do the dance. We do the football game. Everything for homecoming. And we also do the pep assembly and not the dance Winterfest, but we do all the stuff leading up.
Right.
So.
And in the winter months, we do a lot for the community, like Christmas, Thanksgiving time. We do food baskets. We do a lot of stuff for kids at school who maybe don't have that much at Christmas time.
Right.
We do a giving tree where people bring in gifts for them, but you don't find out.
So really, there's just a lot to do and a lot to be done at Alpena High School.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining me today, girls. And for everybody out there who's watching, hopefully, if you're not going to prom, then maybe you could relive your prom youth here with everybody. So thanks for watching, and make sure to stay tuned to Insights next Sunday.
Insights into Northeast Michigan is produced by WBKB News. If you have any comments, suggestions, or topics you would like to see on a future show, please email WBKB News. This has been a production of Thunder Bay Broadcasting Corporation. All rights reserved.